Are you paying for iCloud storage? Chances are you're also paying for some really cool extra features that might help provide a little extra privacy peace of mind. Of course, any online communication or file storage is fraught with complications and risk, and other companies like to profit off of your data and behavior. Apple's private relay is creating some ripples across the telecom landscape. Here's how it might affect your online experience. And no matter what VPNs or private relays you might use, we hope you can spend a little time sharing the awesome work produced here on reviews.org. Hit those subscribe options down below, check out our home site, reviews.org, and the rest of our social media. We've got some really fun live streams and contests coming soon. Apple's private relay. The carriers hate it. Or so many headlines might read. This is a really interesting development in Apple's cloud and browser strategy. It's super new. It leans into a lot of the marketing Apple produces on privacy, and it might help disrupt some of the current data for profit paradigms used by ISPs. So what is it? To grossly oversimplify, Apple is taking some of the structure of a VPN and building it directly into their browser. Specifically for web traffic, your iPhone encrypts your request, sends it up to an Apple proxy server where that data is separated from some of the information that might identify you. Then it's sent to another server with an IP address that does not link back to you. Private Relay only works in the Safari browser and on iCloud backups, and it's a lot like using a VPN, if maybe not quite as secure. The practical results should be similar though. Someone watching the internet pipe you're connected to should not be able to just snoop on everything you do through your phone or through your laptop. On this channel, we recently covered that kind of scary FTC report that carriers and ISPs collect an incredible amount of information on your internet activity and are able to profit significantly on that data. That video linked below. And if there are portholes built into your internet pipe for your ISP to watch you, that could potentially be a security issue if bad actors somehow find a way to access those portholes. I'm stretching the internet as a pipe metaphor as far as it'll go. The private relay feature is lighting up for a number of folks on iPhones, iPads, and Macs, the newer gadgets running the latest updates for iOS and macOS, and there's been immediate pushback from European telecoms and law enforcement. It's another point in a long-running conversation about consumer data and encryption. Quoted from a joint letter signed by representatives of T-Mobile, Vodafone, and Orange, and originally published by The Telegraph, quote, "The way private relay is implemented will have significant consequences in terms of undermining European digital sovereignty. Furthermore, private relay will impair others to innovate and compete in downstream digital markets and may negatively impact operators' ability to efficiently manage telecommunication networks." Now that last point, not completely baseless. How networks manage the flow of data can be disrupted if intermediary servers are employed, and it could create pain points for users if Apple's proxy servers are targeted by bad actors. Disrupt the flow of data to a private relay server and it'll slow down your browsing and iCloud storage, not unlike heavy use on a VPN. As for the competition argument, it's difficult to predict what impact this might have on the services being used by consumers. I'm not saying there won't be an impact, but I'm not sure what that impact might look like. At some point, a user needs to get a piece of information off the internet, and private relay doesn't seem to change much for the end user in that digital transaction. If competition is somehow disrupted, it seems likely we're talking about those business models that rely heavily on monetizing user data. As a tangent, we find it a bit unseemly when Facebook builds a behavior profile on our internet use outside of Facebook and then makes money on the behavior modeling attached to your data. So my personal opinion, and maybe not completely shared by other editors here on reviews.org, just because I sort of agree to a terms of service bullet point buried in legalese in the middle of an insanely complicated document when I sign up to use a service, it doesn't mean that there can't be a cat and mouse game played for my data and my user privacy. In the country I live in the countries I do business with, at present, there don't seem to be any specific laws enforcing corporate sovereignty over the internet and preventing me from using services like a VPN. Even my direct relationship with an ISP. Spectrum has no specific language detailing or prohibiting VPN use in their residential services agreement. And more to the point, my use of their service, it's completely my responsibility for any and all potential threats or security issues. If Spectrum wants to prohibit my use of a tool like Private Relay, I could imagine a class action response where Spectrum might be more liable for harms suffered on their network. Of course, I am not a lawyer, and this video kind of took a turn. Let's get back on track. Network operators might be concerned about their current profits, but not every issue so far is a sinister telecom plot to rob users of their privacy. In the United States, there have been varying reports of people facing issues trying to activate Private Relay and being told that their carrier is blocking access to this important feature. As mentioned, this is brand new, and some of those issues are actually problems with conflicting settings in iOS 15. Apple will need to fix some of those conflicts on their side, and a user might just have a specific setting toggled that is preventing using it on their network. We're talking about some fairly sophisticated routing of information across servers on the internet. Launching this feature, we should expect some teething pains. And of course, while Private Relay helps anonymize specific kinds of traffic, it is not a catch-all solution guaranteeing secure online interactions. There are still currently issues in the Safari browser on iPhones, iPads, and Macs that leak your data to other websites. We have to wait for Apple to patch some of those holes. Above all else, it's just really important that we're out there teaching good online habits for those folks who are concerned about their data security and data privacy. But this is a really interesting step in normalizing some of that discussion, normalizing privacy features on internet-connected devices. And of course, we've got articles and videos about VPNs on reviews.org, but it's also nice to see some of those features being built directly into commonly used consumer products. So we'll have to see what the longer-term ramifications might be when more iPhone users start using this feature. And of course, we always think it's worth a discussion with family and friends about how to better safeguard their personal data. Have you tried firing up Private Relay? Is it working for you, or did your carrier shut you down? Drop us some of them tasty comments down underneath this video. As always, thanks so much for watching, for sharing these videos, subscribing to the channel. For reviews.org, I'm Juan Carlos Bagnell, aka Some Gadget Guy, and I will catch you all on the next video.